am making this video. Hair looks really bad right now, so I'm trying desperately to keep my head out of it. Ah! I'm going to go get, well, actually, I'm not going to go get, I'm going to color my hair in a minute. You didn't want to know that. Okay, this is for when you are plying your singles. Here I have 2 singles on this side of my wheel and 1 single coming out of this other side of the wheel. You could have them coming out of all sides. This is just what happens to be how this wheel is built up. It has a lazy Kate with 2 prongs on one side and 2 prongs on the other side. That's airline stewardess for you. And I broke 1 strand so I could show this. When you are plying along, if you don't want the single to want to work its way out when you are knitting or going back to plying it, you take the single and you're going to lay this single on it, fold it. I'm probably making this look really difficult, but it's not. You can understand. Fold it back on itself, and then the other single coming off your bobbin or ball, whatever you have it on, is going to be folded back on itself also. Build up the twist before the join so that it wants to catch itself in. Tuck that end in from the fold and let that twist build up. And then you've got a perfect join. There's the join, in fact, I can't find it right now. I don't know where it is right. Maybe is that where it is? No, I don't think so. It might be. Technically, it would probably be equivalent to the join or the little lump you get with Navajo plying, but it's really not as much. You will have, in where the 2 singles were folded back on themselves, you will have the slightest bit more bulk there, but I've never noticed it showing up in my knitting. I'll break the yarn again so you can see this and be very comforted. I won't be selling this yarn. I don't need any nasty letters. I'll use this for my own knitting, because when I do this method, I never, if you see my plied yarn spring back on itself, it's because these bobbins have been sitting for probably a year. I have a lot of bobbins. Okay, I'm going to take this single, break it. That looks sacrilegious. So they've been sitting for a long time. So the twist that is active right now is from the plying, and so it looks like I'm over plying, but I'm actually not. Okay, so I'm doing this again. I'm coming to where the break is. Get in the right lighting so it's visible. Okay, I'm going to lay my single for my bobbin over it. I look like I'm really trying to make this a hard thing when it's not. It's just that I'm trying to look at the camera and not my hands, and so a bit awkward. Okay, build up the twist. So I'm going to treadle, build up the twist before it comes to that fold, so that it builds up and catches really quickly. And the reason why you build up the twist is so it'll catch that little end in really quick. If you don't build up the twist before catching it onto the part that's folded back on itself, the little end could want to work its way out. Okay, now here this is where it worked its way out this much, so I'm just going to physically, I could snip it off because it means technically it's all caught in the rest of it where it didn't join, but I'm just going to tuck that in with my finger. And a good thing to do when you have an end from a busted single is wet your fingers. If you're not a germaphobe, you could lick your fingers or whatever, and then wet it and just rub that point just a little bit so it's sort of like a quick little semi-felted thing going on, and then you let that twist carry on. And There you cannot see a single is not working its way out anywhere. It did for about 1/4 of an inch, but I tucked it back in, wet my fingers, and then rubbed it together and gave it some slight felting. Like I said, this is very active twist right now in the ply because I'm using old bobbins. What I'll show you here, I'm trying to keep this in the camera. This was a bobbin I was preparing for a class to show, and you can see, hopefully you can see, that there are no ends sticking out of this, or anywhere, but of this top row. And I broke the yarn about 6 times so far in attempting to make a little video, and the battery kept running out. But you can see that no little ends stick out. This is the most secure method I have found of fixing a broken single when you're plying yarn. And if you're not grossed out by wetting your fingers in your mouth, put a bowl of water near you, because giving that little bit of felting is what really seals the deal. There you go. Bye-bye.